with that said, let me introduce my very first guest. She goes by the name Zed the Financialist, or Zippy Musheke. Karibu sana to the show.
Thank you.
And we want to talk about the Hisabu Dada initiative. Now, financial literacy is as important as ABC. Rural women use and spend money, but only very few of them actually do save for tomorrow. A bigger percentage has no idea why they even need to save, how to use money wisely, or how to use technology to advance themselves. And of course, in light of our just previous discussion, now with caution on how to do it. But that is something that Hisabu Dada, that's a space that Hisabu Dada is now trying to fill. So, Karibu Tana Zippy.
Thank you.
In your own words, very briefly, tell us about you getting into this space and how you're actually trying to fill this gap.
Okay, so Hisabu Dada, just to take you back, started as an initiative from Zed the Financialist. So it initially started as a blog where I'd share financial knowledge and information, just how, like he said, the previous guest, how to protect your financial information online. We do online payments, so such and such things, really relevant and then real-time solutions to that. And so I then later on realized that my audience is very specific. So that means if you're accessing my blog, that means you need to have the digital tools to do so. And so how about communities that do not have these digital tools to do so? How about communities that cannot access internet? So how do they get this awareness and information? So that's why I started Hisabu Dada. As an offline platform where we could engage and just have practical, physical conversations going on. And we have been doing this for around 2 years now, just going to communities, especially vulnerable communities, and just teach them about money, teach them about certain skills, teach them about certain finance hacks that we need at this point in our lives. And that's how it came to life.
Okay, so you're traveling to like rural areas?
Yes. And one of the most recent exciting projects was going to Shofko, that is Kibera School for Girls, and it was really amazing and exciting just to inspire young people or young girls specifically that are growing up into a very volatile digital space. And so just teaching them about that financial aspect of their lives has been really exciting. And so yeah, we really go to communities.
All right.
Yeah.
And so again, with women, what are some of the biggest financial challenges that you find women face? Because we do a lot when it comes to money. We manage our homes, manage children, groceries. So there's quite a bit that needs to be factored in, financially speaking.
Okay, actually in real life, or in according to research, it shows that the financially excluded communities or the financially excluded persona in Kenya are likely to be female, which is 55%. So that means 55 is actually above average, and therefore this is a number that we need to address. 2 financially excluded communities are female-headed homes. That means the lady is the one who's running the show, or it's a single mother. They're likely actually to be twice financially excluded. That means access to information or access to financial services is limited for them in that aspect. While among other factors define a financially excluded community, the two aspects being the female factors are dominant, and therefore I saw the need to actually access this challenge and social issue as well.
Okay, and so generally speaking, overall, whether rural or urban or informal, what would be some of the core things that you would say every woman really should be mindful of when it comes to their finances?
Actually, the good thing is that finance is very baseline. Like there's one formula, but different situations. So ideally what we would do is just before we create a specific solution, we try to identify with the community. As we're saying, financial inclusion is about leaving no one behind, exactly. And so leaving no one behind is actually for Hisabu Dada is meeting them at where they are. So in Nairobi, I may talk about, or in a blog, or in such a unique setup, I may talk about money markets, how to invest in a unit trust, how to invest in a mutual fund. And on the other hand, I cannot talk about the same in a certain community, especially a marginalized community. So how do I communicate the same baseline formula to a different and very, I'd say for lack of a better word, disadvantaged community? And so these are simple things such as table banking, which is really a funding concept that's working in the development space, where women come together, women especially who are low income earners, and just come together and pool funds. Ideally to be what the banks do, but informally. So they have one person do it and just account for their contributions. If they need a loan, they provide to the other person, sort of a merry-go-round setup, but now traditional banking way. And so these simple things of just meeting them at the point of their needs, where they can only afford a basic need, they cannot go beyond a saving for them, For them, survival is the priority at this point and not the extra needs. And so just meeting communities at where they are, and ensuring that we are just not leaving anyone behind is just the key thing.
And once again, talk to us about the communities that you've worked with or also hope to work with. You've already mentioned Shofco in Kibera. Which are some of the other sort of communities that you have worked with perhaps already, or that you would like to?
Actually, I've worked with schools, because mainly focusing also with girls is a key priority. And so I participated in an annual global campaign that was the Global Money Week earlier on this year, and we were focusing on going to schools and just teaching them about financial literacy. And so went to schools like Kilimani Primary, went to schools like Rai Girls, went to schools like Chosna, went to schools like Jogorod Girls, and just around communities, and going to schools that are within my area or within a specific area targeted, and just teach these kids about financial literacy, so that as they grow up, they're growing up into the knowledge and the awareness that these things are actually key and important into that. And so also partnering in schools has been a very big win for us, as well as partnering with women group and just ensuring that this conversation is going on. Yes.
And there actually has been quite a bit of debate too about financial literacy itself and whether it is effective or not. So maybe you can explain, is there a difference between financial literacy, financial empowerment, financial education? What's the difference between those?
So financial literacy is actually like literacy, learning how to read and write. And so basically that means you're learning how to read and write in a financial aspect way. That means you're able to understand any literature that comes before you, or you're able to write any financial commitment that you have. So for example, we're saying you are a landlord and you need to get a tenant agreement. So that awareness is actually financial literacy. Financial education is basically education, but now in the aspect of finance. So us saying, which is actually inclusive of the literacy section. So us saying understanding the whole aspect of financial information and knowledge is financial education. So you can be financially educated as well as financially literate. So financially education is actually the whole comprehensive approach, which actually empowers you to be able to now show your financial capabilities really well. So once you're financially educated, then you're financially empowered ultimately.
And finally, with the work that you do, are you envisioning a Hisabu Kijana initiative, or do you mostly feel that this is it focusing on girls out of just your own passion, or because that's where you really feel that would have the most impact by training girls?
So the numbers are what drive us. So if 55% of our community are female who are financially excluded, then that's where I'd put more emphasis on, but not neglecting, of course, the boy child. Because as I go to primary schools, I go to sometimes mixed schools and not necessarily girls' schools. And so when going to mixed schools, I don't usually say, okay, let's have the girls here and then the boys go play. We just have a normal comprehensive session where we're saying, how can we also include the boys in this conversation? But key and most underlying factor is us saying that we are putting, the major emphasis and priorities on the girl, and just ensuring that she is equally empowered as she's empowered in other aspects.
All right. Well, Zippy, thank you so much for coming through and talking to us about your initiative. We've been talking to Zed, the financialist, who runs Hisabu Dada initiative. Asante sana for your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, we're going to take a short break now. And coming up next, we're going to talk to the founder of the House of Hope. She's only 22 years of age, but doing something to help young moms. This and so much more coming up next.